Today we will start our new paper, Statistical Mechanics. Statistical mechanics had its origin in the attempt to explain bulk thermal, elastic transport, and other properties on the basis of interactions among the microscopic constituents, namely atoms, molecules, and so on. It has become a subject of extensive range because of the variables in most experimental investigations in temperature, which is inseparably linked to statistical concepts. Thus, it is not surprising that whenever the statistical mechanics of a system has been studied, it has not only given new insights into the working of the system, but also new information not obtainable from purely phenomenological considerations. It can be a liquid whose enthalpy is needed, a crystal whose susceptibility is needed, a gas whose viscosity is needed, or a resistance whose noise characteristics are needed. To start, different topics of statistical mechanics, we have to first understand about phase space. It is a well known that graphical representation aids the visualization of a set of data. For example, the annual production of steel over the last 50 years would be a striking graphical representation because instead of tallying data, if we plot graphs showing or representing those data, then it will be more easier to grasp that concept. Similarly, if we want to study the dynamics of any system having n number of particles, where n is a very large number, round about 10 to the power of 23, which is Avogadro number. So it is to study that system, we have to first write the Newton's motion of equation given as m d2x over dt square is equals to fxt. This is second order equation, and to solve this equation we have to know two constants at given at t is equals to t0, that is the momentum at t is equals to t0 and the position coordinate at t is equals to t0. If we know the both, that is position and momentum of any given particle at t is equals to t0, we can solve this equation and can understand the whole dynamics of the given particle. This we are talking about only one dimension. If we talk about three dimension, then we have to know three position coordinates and three momentum coordinates. This we are talking about a single particle. Since our system is containing n particles, so to know the dynamics of the full system, we should have to know first the three momentum coordinates and three position coordinates of the n particles. These three momentum coordinates and three position coordinates of n particles in Hamiltonian mechanics are called the phases of the n particle system. Hence the name phase space. If we know the three momentum and three position coordinates of these n particles, then we can specify then we can know the complete dynamics of that system available and quantities like the energy of the system may be obtained for all times. Hence, it appears natural to represent the state of the system at by a point in the 6n dimensional space of 3n momenta and 3n coordinates. The time evolution of the state of the system will be then represented by an orbit or a trajectory of the representative point in the 6n dimensional space. Hence, what we are saying that if we are having a coordinate system which is having 3n position coordinates and 3n momentum coordinates, then the full system of n particles can be represented by a point at any given time t is equals to t0, and the time trajectory of that point gives the whole dynamics of that system. This 6n dimensional space is conventionally called the gamma phase space. Sorry. Sometimes it is convenient to use a 6-dimensional phase space giving 3 momenta and 3 coordinates. This is called the mu phase space. Sorry. It is clear that gamma space is built up as the product of n spaces of the mu type. Now we know that there are sound reasons for using the generalized coordinates q and the generalized momenta p to describe the system rather than, for example, the coordinates q and the velocities q dot, which can also specify the complete dynamics of the system. P's and Q's are canonically conjugate and are used in the Hamiltonian H of the system, and the two equations are given as del H over del P is equals to Q dot and del H over del Q is equals to minus P dot are the Hamiltonian equations. Using these equations, one can derive a conservation theorem regarding the density of states in the gamma phase space. If d p q t is the number of states per unit volume of the space, one can show that dqpt upon dt is equals to 0. This will be small d and this will be capital D. By mistake it is written like this. Small d will come here and capital D will come here. So it will be small d capital T. That is d by dt of capital D, where capital D is the density of state and is function of PQT. This conservation of the density of state, that is states per unit volume, is the in the phase space is known as Lewis equation, which we will prove it in the next video. Thank you.